Good morning, and welcome to the People Pleaser Support Group, where we hold space for each other's healing journey in a way that honors our lived experiences and encourages each other's recovery. My name is Tina Rose, and I am a recovering people pleaser. I was one of the best people pleasers in the whole world. And today I am guided to talk about how a regulated, self honoring human can be disruptive to an environment, such as a work environment, or it can be at a home environment, a church environment, whatever the environment is. If there is manipulation and controlling communication styles in that environment, then it can be disruptive. A healthy person, let me say that again, a regulated and self-honoring human can be disruptive to an environment that otherwise communicates through a manipulative and controlling communication style. And I am guided now to talk about my experience working in an environment such as this. It was a small office, and there were only 3 of us full-time and 1 part-time person. And 2 of those people that had been there the longest, the manager of the office and the administrator, they had been there the longest. They had worked together for a very long time, and they had developed ways of being together that were unhealthy. One supported the other's communication style and vice versa. And they were both manipulative and controlling. The one was domineering, verbally abusive. The other one was submissive and I'll describe as they were an otherwise kind person, but they were aloof, narcissistic, like that. But I'm not here to talk about the people. I am here to talk about the behavior and how once recovering people pleasers enter environments, well, in this case, we'll just say work environments because you're there every day, many hours a day, or, every work day. And I'm going to talk about how it was difficult and how obvious it was after I went through my transformation and I did the 365 Course in Miracles lessons, and I transformed my perception and I saw where I needed to heal. 2 years after that, I worked on healing. and it was major healing. I wasn't completely healed, but I was healed enough that after 2 years that my spirit team put me in an office that was, I considered, an initiation for me. I was ready to go out and apply what I had learned and where I had healed and apply it to the real world situations. So everything that was about to unfold in my work experience was there to mirror to me how I was still controlling and manipulating. And we do manipulation, but a lot of times we do it because we control because we're afraid of the circumstance. If we don't, we're trying to control things to keep ourselves feeling safe. You have probably heard the phrase, when someone can't manipulate and control you, they think you're crazy. And that was absolutely the case. Where in the office where I worked. And it took me 3 years, close to 3 years, to get all the lessons from all the mirroring. I was seeing how the what seemed like kindness in some cases was manipulating and controlling. What seemed like kindness was actually master manipulation, turning on the charm, because that was a learned communication style from the other people, where they had grown up in their childhood trauma, and that was the way they had learned to communicate. So this was the perfect environment for me to see all the subtle ways that manipulation and control can happen. And I'll even venture to say that we all do it on some level. Because when I would see it, I would be amazed and I'll be like, yep, that's what I do. Because when they mirrored it to me, I knew how it felt. I saw it. It was obvious. I saw it. I felt it. I knew it. And so then when I would come home at the end of each day and reflect on the lessons that were there for me, profound. And I would begin to see where in my conversations with my daughter, let's say, I was doing those things. I'm like, yep, that's something that I do. Um, I'm kind of reaching for an example, and it's not coming to me just yet. Maybe it'll come intuitively, and I won't have to figure it out. Um, but so many scenarios. And then the other side of that would be where I had to choose to be non-confrontational, or choose standing in my boundaries. That job for 3 years helped me develop boundaries. It helped me see where I wanted boundaries, because if you're accustomed growing up and most of your adulthood not feeling your feelings, you don't know what your boundaries are. You have to feel your feelings to go through a process of um, knowing what boundaries are for you. So it was a great experience. It was difficult, but at the end of the day, I would do the work to process everything I needed to process to get that lesson. And it wouldn't always take one time to get a lesson. I had to see where I was giving myself away. I had to see where I was leaking my energy by still being the people pleaser, by um, not recognizing that behavior and how unhealthy it is, and not recognizing the feelings. So, 3 years, it was exactly 2 years and 9 months when I got the final lesson that I was there to get. It was like night and day. Um, and I feel guided to tell you that story. So um, I physically fell and hit the ground. And when I did that, I was in disbelief because the way I fell, it was like it was going to happen no matter what. Because I have good balance. I mean, I do yoga every day. I'm a yoga instructor. I've been doing it for 15 years. And I remember stepping down and I just fell and hit the ground completely on my side. And that was a wake up call. That was meant to happen in my physical experience to show me where I was falling off the wagon, where I was allowing something that I was ignoring a boundary of mine. I saw what was happening at the office, and it was work related. When I fell, I was working. And, at the end of that day, I came home, reflected on it, and what I got was powerful. A lot of times at work, on a side note, a lot of times at our work, our offices, it's like there's an epidemic, right? Um, a global epidemic of people pleasing, somewhat. And a lot like in corporate America, you are expected. They want you to not say no. They want you to not have disagreements and just go with the flow to make their job easy. And even in the best offices, there's some of that, right? And so I was being asked to do something that was against policy. And something inside of me, and I had actually said no many times, but every so often the same type situation would come up. And this particular one, just where I was feeling I had done so much standing up for myself and all that. And it was in December, it was around the holidays. I don't know, just in that moment or that particular 2 or 3 week period, I was ignoring what I was feeling about. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do what I was asked to do, but I was going along with it. And so when I fell off that wagon, um, and I went home and reflected on it, that is strongly what I got. Tina, this is what you're doing. You are ignoring that feeling. So the very next day, work day, I went in and I confronted the person in charge that was uh, asking me to do this. And they weren't asking in a way that I want you to go against policy and do this. It was very subtle the way they went into it. And, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to turn in this paperwork, so forth and so on. It was more subtle than that. And anyway, I went in and basically told them, this is what I'm going to do. I'm the one turning in the paperwork. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. And that was so liberating. And that was the end of the 2 year and 9 month period where I finally got it. I finally got those lessons that I was there to get. And just months after that is when I yeah, no longer worked there because I chose not to, and because that behavior wasn't going to change. It was going to continue to happen after 3 years of me standing in my boundaries. I'm going to I'm going to silence my phone. I'm feeling like not bringing through an energy transmission today. I'm getting that the codes, the energetic codes that are needed for this were in the dialogue, the commentary. So I'm going to end it here. And I am keeping up with the daily vlogs of what's happening. I did a lot of meditating this morning before I sat in front of this computer, knowing that I did not want to figure out what I was going to say. I want it to be real time from my higher self, from the Holy Spirit. And I'm committing. I have committed to this at least 111 days of daily videos on YouTube in the People Pleasers support group. And I did get some, on one of my recent videos, I got some comments about people saying they were people pleasers too. And that is just really good. That is the direction that this support group needs to go. If you, back in my day, we'll say, back 30 years ago, you would go to group therapy sessions and they were called support groups. And that's what people would do. They would start today. My name on each, at the beginning of each group, that each person would go around and say, my name is Tina Rose and I am a people pleaser. I didn't say people pleaser back then, but if you ever watched a movie that had, clips of Alcoholics Anonymous or other support groups like A Death in the Family, etc. That's what they would do, and that's what it was called, a support group. So it might be an old label, but I like it, and I think it fits perfectly. So let us know in the comments. I feel like if you're here, you're seeing this video because you are a people pleaser, and it helps in your healing for you to type it or say it or let it be known that those are strategies that you have become accustomed to. So we love you, and blessed be, my friends. Until tomorrow.